Hey everyone, welcome back to Gobliins 2. Last time, we made our way to Amoniak's castle, and all we gotta do is get inside and save the prince. Unfortunately, it looks like that might be a little difficult because the door is guarded. But maybe we can get past the guard somehow.
You're very lucky, my friend. A steady job, no worries.
Alright. As usual, Winkle is slightly luckier when it comes to violence. Alright, so the guard's not gonna let us get past. Maybe this fellow over here on the string will be a little more helpful.
Come up here if you dare. That's what the carpet is for.
Ah yes, the carpet. It doesn't even seem to be a thing we can interact with directly. So we'll need to find a way to get to it, and it happens that Fingus is standing right in front of the solution. This tower over here only serves one purpose. It's full of bombs. The big cartoony round ones, of course. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And it seems that Winkle's just going to hold it for a couple seconds and then throw it. Well, we know what it means when a character holds something in a particular position for a while. The other character needs to do something with it. So we can have Winkle pick up the bomb, and Fingus light it with the matches. Much better. Yeah, clearly that's not quite what we need to do here. The trick to this puzzle is figuring out how to use the two different characters to interact with the bomb in a variety of ways. So we can hand the matches over to Winkle. Once again, I kinda did the pass items thing backwards. We can have Fingus pick up the bomb, and Winkle light it, and Fingus will throw it somewhere a little more useful. Well, that frees the carpet, but somebody in the castle has grabbed it. We need to get it down, and the other way we can interact with the bomb differently is to have Fingus go into the tower and throw it out the window. So from this position, we can throw the bomb closer to the castle door. This isn't particularly explained in this interaction, but what we need to do here is have Fingus throw the bomb from the tower, and then have Fingus pick it up. That gets rid of the guard, and now, without a guard's head to bounce the bomb off, now Winkle will be able to throw the bomb at the carpet. And we'll hand the matches over to Fingus, so that he's ready to light the bomb. And that was fairly simple, and that's this screen pretty much done. We can now go up there and talk to Soka.
Borrow the carpet and come up to see me. I can't hear you from up here.
You don't need to hear us, we just need to hear you.
To reach the castle, throw some of the sand of time into the trenches.
And the funny part is I could barely hear him. And he'll say something a little different to Winkle.
If you want to enter the castle, don't go through the door.
Well, that much was pretty obvious, although with the guard gone, we can at least get to the door. But somebody else is inside. So we're gonna have to go off and find the sands of time that he told us about. And that's going to be quite the adventure. And granted, this is an adventure game. Everything should be an adventure. But we're going to some very strange places along the way. Like, I don't know, this is less a tree house and more a tree town. But there's nothing in any of the houses. They're all just those comedy tunnels that lead to different places around the room. And sometimes multiple houses lead to the same place. So that's not going to do us a whole lot of good. There's only one person in this town at the moment.
Hey, Sporty! Lovely weather for a game!
He doesn't seem to have any information for us. So let's check out the town hall up here on this branch. I don't know how you get into that. Could we maybe get someone's attention by throwing a rock in the window? Perhaps Winkle will be able to do it. And Fingus isn't much for destruction of property, but Winkle loves it. Oh, will you shoot some hoops? No? Alright. So there's a ball out here on the end of this branch. Probably need to give that to the basketball player. But we can't reach it. So we'll have to knock it down with a stone. And it's been stolen. Of course. So what's this last house over here? This is the clockmaker's house. If anyone's going to have sands of time, it would be a clockmaker, but he doesn't answer the door. So we're going to need to get that ball and obviously give it to the basketball player. But the kid is notoriously difficult to catch. This is in fact the puzzle that stumped my friends and me when we played this game as kids. We couldn't figure out how to get the ball, although we did do everything else in this chapter. The trick is to have Winkle go into the house, scare the kid, and then send Fingus into this door so that he comes out behind him. And now we can shoot some hoops. It's not very productive. Fortunately, once you know how to get the ball, it's not difficult or particularly time-consuming to do. It's mostly a matter of timing. You have to wait until the kid pops out the other door before you send Fingus in, otherwise he'll walk right past the kid. We'll just throw it right into the town hall. We're not going to get the mayor's attention that way, unfortunately. Only someone with the requisite skills will be able to get the ball in that window. So let's go talk to such a person.
What are you waiting for, Smelly? Some medals?
Now, normally he gets the medals after making an impressive shot. So let's swap the characters around to where they're going to need to be for this. As you can see, it took the ball a while to fall through the hoop, so we'll use that time to have Winkle jump up and headbutt it. He should take up soccer.
Hi, my good mare. What's to be seen around here?
Go and see Tom, our master clockmaker, and he'll help you pass the time.
And with that endorsement, we can get Tom to open his door, although he'll give Fingus a bit more useful information.
Noble Burgomaster, who belongs to Tom, our master clockmaker. Give 2 short knocks on his door.
Yeah, somehow Winkle knew how to do that already.
Hey, this is a hold-up. Give me the money.
You're wasting my time, Dopey. There are only hourglasses here.
Okay, Winkle is too much of a practical joker to get anything done with the clockmaker. Let's have Fingus give him the business.
Dear Master Clockmaker, we'd like to see your talent at work. If it's an hourglass you want, replace the clock's tick-tock with a melody.
Replace the clock's tick-tock with a melody? How the heck are we supposed to do that? Well, we're not going to be able to do it here. There's no melody to be found, so let's continue on this path we were on. Yeah, there's nothing over there. This is the way we need to go, and what's the difference? I have no idea. I don't know if maybe they originally intended to put another screen over there and just never got around to it, or whether that's just an Easter egg. But now the game starts to get kinda weird. We've got this tree man here.
A very good day to you, Mr. Tree. Can you give us some advice?
Well, he's not going to help us. Let's go ask at this house over here. Also not helpful. But Winkle may have a bit more luck. There we go.
Hello there. Any luck?
Unfortunately, he's still not interested in talking to us. What we need to do is realize that trees like water.
Thanks for quenching my thirst. I let you climb on my hand.
And though you can barely hear it, he offers to give us a ride on his hand.
Very good day to you, Mr. Tree. Can you give us some advice?
Go see the bird over there. He has 2 passions, music and mushrooms. Bring him the mushroom the nymph shows you in exchange for a little treat.
So that's how we deal with that bird. We've got to give him the mushroom the nymph shows us, but the nymph is hardly in any condition to show us anything. Meanwhile, Kale has offered to let us ride on his hand, so let's do that and see where it goes. And from up in his branches, the only thing we can interact with is this branch with a bunch of leaves on it. Well, we've seen this pattern before. When something moves upward, we generally have to have the other character stand on it. And because Fingus gave Kale the water, Winkle can't ride on his hand. You can have Winkle give him the water, and that's actually the shorter way to do this. Because Winkle doesn't seem to want to stand in the right place. Yeah, it's possible to get him to stand on the stone. But of course he eats the flower. So we need to have Fingus hop down and be the one to catch it. He's a little more responsible with his inventory. Now granted, yeah, it's not immediately apparent why we need a flower, but we'll get to that shortly. The remaining water in the bottle, and it's not very much, is useful for waking up the nymph. But now she's up in that tree where we're not going to be able to get to her. And just so you can see, that was indeed the last of the water in our bottle. So to get up to that branch, well, maybe we don't need the nymph's help. After all, the mushrooms are right here. We can surely find the right one on our own. Okay, taste testing the mushrooms, clearly not a good idea. Fingus, once again, can pick stuff without eating it. Okay, we're going to need the help of the nymph. And for some reason there are giant subterranean bees living in this stone. So we can use them to get to where the nymph is.
Do you always go around with your birthday suit?
Okay, the nymph isn't exactly going to show us a mushroom unless we give it some kind of gift. And I don't know how you're meant to figure this out, but bees make honey from flowers. So we'll give them a flower. That's not the way this works at all. But there is now a pouch of honey. And we'll just hand it to Winkle, who eats it. Yeah, that honey is gone. And we need to get another one. Fortunately, again, this is only a slightly longer process than it needs to be because I had Fingus give Kale the water. Had we gone the other way around, we could skip several steps of this process and just put Winkle right into the tree. But we've got the flower. We get the honey. And now let's send Fingus up to give it to the nymph. Winkle can give it to her, just his idle animation for taking the honey out and showing that he's holding it is to eat it. And this just works better all around.
Do you live with your parents?
Well, a slightly more polite inquiry. And now we know which mushroom it is. But for some reason we can't pick it up until the nymph has gotten all the way back to the branch. No, I don't know why it works that way. But the bird in the tree loves music and mushrooms, and now we've got one of those things. So let's impress him. So we'll bring him the mushroom that the nymph showed us. Yeah, we can't really show it to him, but we can talk to him.
Please accept this small gift. It's really elegant.
Excellent. Put it in my musical dream machine and have a taste.
Can do. Although for some reason Fingus can't figure out how to get the mushroom into the machine. Winkle's gonna have to do it. And I might as well talk to Vivalzer once with Winkle, just to see what he says. Once you put the mushroom in the machine, it won't work.
We brought you a mushroom. Oh, it's really good to eat. Excellent. Put it in my musical dream machine and have a taste.
So we'll stick the mushroom in the machine. And obviously Fingus is standing next to the on button. But there's a clothespin blocking one of the hoses, and naturally we need to get up there and remove it. This is a complicated process that starts with this jar. Yeah, only Winkle can reach into this jar for some reason. So now we got a worm, which we can feed to a fish. But that doesn't do anything. Yeah, the fish is still pretty vicious. I'm going to shortcut a couple of steps in this puzzle just so that I don't have to repeatedly solve the same puzzle over and over again. But what we need to give the piranha is that meat that the vulture's holding. And to get over there, this switch will launch that spring pad on the left. Winkle is completely useless, so this is the one time in the game when Winkle is capable of activating the switch and launching Fingus, who isn't capable of standing on the pad properly. Yep, we gotta be in just the right spot. And now the vulture is pecking him and distracting him so that he can't grab the meat. But if we can distract the vulture for just a second... There we go. Now we've got the meat, which the piranha likes. And it gives us a bone. Not having any magic to cast on the bone and turn it into a flute, we're just going to have to pick it up. And once again, I'm going to have to skip a step here so that I don't have to go and get another bone. We're going to give it to Vivalzart, who's going to throw it away, and the lid of the trash can is going to launch Winkle up onto the shelf. And now he can grab the clothespin. And the machine is working. So we're supposed to drink this stuff. But we'll need a container to do that. Unfortunately, we just emptied our bottle.
Before drinking it, shouldn't I take another look round?
Yeah, if you have Winkle attempt to drink it, he suggests taking a souvenir of their visit. But I'm not going to bother to do that, because then I'd have to get him back up on the shelf. We need this elixir of kindness, and they won't leave the screen without it. Now that we've got that in our inventory, we'll be able to drink the potion. And for once, even though Fingus disappeared holding it, the bottle goes back into our inventory so that Winkle, too, can drink the potion and go somewhere else. Now this is where the game starts to get a little weird. We're in some kind of magical land of mushrooms and musicians. And here, of course, is where we're going to get a melody. Problem is, we've got to figure out how to get these guys to play their instruments, and how to capture the melody afterward. We can't even reach the guitarist from here, and the drummer we can't even do anything with in the first place. The only one of these guys we can approach at the moment is the saxophonist.
Noble musician, could you give us a few variations on a theme?
Well, maybe Winkle will have more luck.
Hey, could you give us a little toot on your float?
Thanks for whistling over that line, Fingus.
Hey, could you give us a little toot on your float?
Well, he's not going to give us a little toot on his flute. So, what else is there to do here? There's a random stocking cap sticking up from the ground. That doesn't do us any good. And there's a headlight over here. We can't interact with the other one, but when we stick our hand in this one, it comes up next to the drummer, who's got a spare drumstick. And we're going to need this in a little while, so I'm just going to stick it into the stocking cap here and make a net. It'll be useful for catching things. Meanwhile, there's a springboard over here. And did you see the thing appear over the drum there? We're going to have Winkle grab it, just because Fingus can't reach the drum from the headlight. And again, this is a tricky bit of timing. You gotta wait until it appears, then reach into the headlight to grab it. And we have a pump, which I guess is going to be useful for something. Now here's the tricky part of the level. We need to have both characters jump on the springboard at the same time. And there's really no precedent for anything like this in this game. And for some reason, that just causes a door to open in the mushroom. And now we can get to the guitarist. Once we clamp down that hose, of course. Winkle's gonna have to do that, because Fingus can't get back to it. And the clothespin has served its purpose.
Dear musician, could you play us one of your tunes?
Oh, no problem. I'll play you a piece I composed myself.
I don't think he composed Smoke on the Water himself, but we're going to have to get up into the corner of the screen where that note was, and this convenient hole will lead us straight there. Now all we gotta do is get a net ready and catch the note as it flies by.
Dear musician, could you play us one of your tunes?
Oh, no problem. I'll play you a piece I composed myself.
So there we go, we've got a note. And we can always swap the positions of the two characters. Have Winkle get the musician to play, and Fingus catch the note. But you can't have both of them on top of the mushroom at the same time, just in case you send both of them up without clamping down the hose, they'd be stuck there. So Fingus has to go down first before Winkle can go up. And now we'll be able to catch the new note.
Hey, lazy bones, how about some music?
Oh, yes, yes. I really feel like playing my guitar. Ah.
But we still only have a note. Getting two different notes from the same musician isn't going to help us. We need to get a note from the other two. Fortunately, we have a way to convince the saxophonist to play. He won't do it if we ask him, but if we just pump some air directly through him, well, it's not exactly music, but we do have a mosquito. And believe it or not, that's going to help us get another note. So let's just swap items here. We'll get the net ready, and we'll send the mosquito into the headlight so that it comes out at the drum set. You can probably imagine what the result will be. we have a tune. One more note needed. And you can probably guess. We're going to have Fingus get the saxophonist to play. That's what it looks like if he sticks his head into the headlight. Just if you were curious. So we'll swap positions of the characters, get the saxophonist to give us some music instead of some insects. And that's all 3 of the notes we need. We've got a melody. And the game quite conveniently removes all the other stuff we got in that screen. We can't go back now. We can't return to the screen with a talking tree, but we don't need to. We've got a melody, we need to put it in the clock, get the sand, and throw it into the trenches. But the clockmaker can't hear our melody from in there. So let's play it for him. Alright, he wanted us to put it into the clock. And if you noticed when Fingus went into this central house, he came out the clock, so I guess that's all he wanted us to do. We now have an hourglass, presumably full of the sands of time. So we can either release it in Persia and create an epidemic of zombies that never actually happened, or we can throw it into the trenches as we were instructed and find an alternate way into Amoniak's castle. That one fits a bit more with this game. And it mysteriously creates a path which lets us over to this opening in the wall, which conveniently isn't being guarded. And with all of that, we're back to where we started and finally done with Chapter 2.
Psst, I'm with you. To get to the demon's throne, you need the key of a chest with a carved fish. Bring me its imprint and a piece of metal, and I'll forge you a key.
Yeah, I hope you caught all that, because that's pretty much what we're going to need to do in the 3rd chapter. And we're surrounded by sleeping trolls that aren't going to make it easy to get that job done. But don't worry, we'll go over it again when I move into Chapter 3 next time.